Hello and what's up guys, it's me your girl CatCorelli. This is episode 241 of my Cat Vibes series. This time I'm painting the 5th October poem. This is the last one in this little mini series. And it's a beautiful scene. It's beautiful, but it was right before rain, so it was kind of dark and subdued. There was a cold front moving in, and all of a sudden all the warmth, it was a fairly warm day, and then all of a sudden it was starting to really cool off in the evening. And there was a rain brewing, and it actually rained heavily that night. So there is a fairly dark sky. It was rather an overcast day. All of that day, not so very sunny. And however, there was a little bit of sunlight again. The sun was setting behind my back, so I'm looking at a group of trees. This is where the fire pit is. I used to sit there and record Cat Talk episodes. But it's really in the distance. Behind the fence, there's a pond, and then there is that fire pit, and this is where I was sitting. But these tall trees, these are from the woods that usually were right behind my back. So those of you who remember my Cat Talk episodes, I don't know if you would kind of recognize this spot. Perhaps not really, because I never filmed anything from here. But it kind of captures that scene, and it shows some of the further background over there, some hills to the left. But I like to start with the sky, really. I'm kind of sketching out the contours of everything else very, very roughly. But I like to lay out the sky early on so that I can feel the environment and the context of things, the lighting and everything else. It kind of gives me a good sense of it. Because if I, start with everything else and then go for the sky, it's gonna feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's gonna be more difficult. I think it's easier to first throw in some color to the sky, and do it not in burnt sienna in this case, but do it right out of the bed, do it with some grays. And a little bit of blues. There is a little bit of ultramarine blue, slightly, which gives these clouds this heaviness, kind of a heavy blue, even slightly violet undertone, and a little bit of cerulean blue, where the sky kind of peeps through slightly. As I said, it wasn't a completely overcast day. There was a little bit of sunshine, just a little bit. The trees are, there are some pines growing, these left group of trees, the leftmost. Those are pine trees, and they're darker. And then the trees to the right, they're like a combo of different types of trees, which used to have leaves in summer, and now a lot of them are kind of bare or almost bare. And that's the beauty of it. I love that texture of those twigs and limbs and branches all intertwined, and it just looks kind of ominous almost, with that cloud rising from behind the horizon and from behind that tree line. I think there's something to it. As compared to the previous October poem, number 4, I was trying to get even more fluent here, so I'm deliberately trying to move faster, so that I actually retain all the wetness of the paint on the canvas. And I'm not even starting out that thin. It's relatively thin. I think it's like, 50-50. 50% linseed oil, 50% paint from the tube. That kind of ratio. The green grass here, well, the old green grass on the lawn in front of the fence, that has a lot of added linseed oil, so it's really thin. But those trees in the back, yes, I'm using lots of linseed oil. I like to use lots of linseed oil. I like it when the paint is really, really wet. I like it. Maybe this is, and by the way, I was thinking about this. Maybe this is because way back when I was a kid, when I went to art school, and then years later, I was mostly working with watercolors. So I like it. I like the fluency and the transparency of paint when I need it. It's good in the beginning, and then I like to tighten things up and really start using paint from the tube. Thick paint to accentuate the most important little parts, like with that shed, for example, right? That blue roof of the shed, peeping from under the pine trees. That's almost straight paint. Everything else, you see, kind of, for the most part, there is lots of added linseed oil. Occasionally, there are blobs of really thick paint. Again, as you can see, I'm going for a very impressionistic look. I'm not concerned with the nitty-gritty and the small little tiny details. That's not the point here. I don't want it that way. And all in all, I think this is actually my favorite style of painting. I could have done this in a more realistic fashion, but no, that's not what I want. And I find it extremely pleasurable to do things like this, like a little miniature like this, look. And I'm using a palette knife to add some tree limbs and some really bare trees, because now we have some really bare trees already. And they've been standing bare there for a while now, for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I'm touching up the sky, kind of to balance the painting. Oh, there we go. I finished it that night in the garage, and then next day I've signed it, and this is what it looks like. There will be a photo of this painting of all of my latest paintings. They will appear on my website, but for now, it is what it is. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you being here on my channel. Expect the next Cat Vibes episode hopefully in just 5 days. I'll try to be on time with that one. Thank you very much. I love y'alls, and you will hear me on the next episode. Meow.